Do you want to know how to save more money? And do you want to know how to build more credit? Now contact Finance Victory today, and then you'll notice a real big change. Hello, and welcome back to Finance Victory Weekly Podcast. Today I am doing some university work, so going to have the usual video with the granite section pillow backdrop. But yeah, I just thought I'd be on campus, and yeah, so I thought I'd just stay here and make the video really. And I just wanted to talk to you about how we help each other find accommodation. Yeah, so I just want to talk about how students here would find accommodation and how I did. And I'm not sure how it works these days, but the process was when I was at university, I'm actually at the university that I studied at, funny enough. Oh, it's starting to rain. Yeah, when I was at university, before I went, I applied for accommodation, and obviously you had the options to stay on campus, or you could rent privately as a student, or you could, if you had family members or someone, you could go and stay with them. And I decided that because I was so eager to like move out, that was the only thing I was focusing on. Decided that I would apply for accommodation. So we had like the cheaper tier, which was like older buildings, like the one behind me, the circular. They look like you're on the Titanic. I don't know if I could show you, but it's really cool. And then you had the newer versions, which were a bit more expensive. These apartments, you had to share a kitchen, bathroom. I mean, there was option for, sorry, not bathroom, had ensuite, because there was no way in heck I was gonna share a bathroom with no one. But you had what I meant to say is that you could get studios, and yeah, so but that was like in the higher tier. The more modern ones. So these flats built in the 90s, and the other ones, I think they were all built in the 90s actually. So it's starting to rain, so gotta, you know, it's been like this for the last 2 weeks. Yeah, so I decided that I actually ended up staying on campus for all 3 years because I just wanted just wanted the convenience of just staying on campus and not having to search for another home all the time. To be honest, it was stressful moving out every June because I had so much junk at the time, and then I had to like bring it all back and move it back in again, and it was just like, But the way to sort out accommodation, one of the things I would suggest is before you go to uni, not as you start. So before you go to university, make sure that you apply for accommodation. Whether it's on the student halls, and I know some halls are not on campus, they're like some miles away or down the road or something. Also check the location. Like you may see a good deal. I don't know if it's like with renting and stuff. You may see a good deal, but is it feasible? Can you travel there? Do you have to spend more money on buses and taxis and everything else? Would you need to drive there? I mean, it's ideal to have somewhere that's walking distance. And of course, if you're living in London, you're not always going to get that. So think about whether you can actually travel to the place, okay? If it's easy access. I mean, for example, in London, you have, transport for London and overground. So they're usually dotted around all over. If the accommodation is near a station, then that's a great thing, and you can make use of that. But if it's like in the middle of nowhere, and then another thing to think of, if the accommodation is like nowhere near a shop, and then you'll have to trek to the shop because you may have to spend lots of money on like getting food and stuff, and also local amenities. So you've got to think about that. make sure when you apply, although you're applying before, make sure it is in good time. So not like a week before or 2 weeks. I think you should apply within, well, should give it a few months. Maybe between 3 to 6 months to see what's out there and what you can actually move into. Make sure you look all around. So nowadays you have, on the website, I think it's uh, Zoopla and things like that. I was gonna say there's one with spareroom.co. That's the one I was gonna say. So you have those kind of websites, so check on there. It may be helpful, like say if you don't feel like staying on accommodation, then it's helpful to maybe ask around and those ask the staff at university, like, I'm not gonna stay on campus, but what's the other alternative? So yeah, I would say just ask around, do research, and make sure you plan this and prepare for it in advance, 3 to 6 months. Um, yes. Also, make sure if you're doing rented accommodation, make sure you view the flat before you go because you don't know what you'll be paying for, what you'll be booking, and if you sign that contract, and you don't know what you've got and you don't like it, it could be a problem. So make sure you actually view the property and make sure it's a decent size, and as well as it being affordable, make sure that you can essentially live in there. Because I could tell you some stories of like alumni who I was doing the same course with. They ended up like in tiny rooms, and they were paying so much rent, the same rent as they were paying as their other flatmates, and really it should have been subsidized, but we weren't to know at that age really because we just kind of, I think, she had some friends that she wanted to live with, and you know, but yeah, so make sure you do that. And yeah, so if you're lucky enough to stay on campus, or lucky enough to stay on campus for 3 years or more, whatever, take advantage of that because it does like reduce some of the stress of hunting. And if you're privileged enough to get your own studio flat, it's a good thing. However, um, social wise, it's good to be in a mixed, shared flat, but obviously have your own bathroom, kitchen. We just pray that the kitchen remains clean, um, and good for you, so you can cook as well. Yeah, get to know your flatmates. It's always good to live in like shared flat because you can, and by shared flat I mean like on campus, so you can meet your neighbors and you can network and see what everyone's about, see if you could gain anything from them and vice versa, and attend an event. So yeah, so I would say when you're looking for accommodation, make sure you look between 3 to 6 months, plan in advance. Also, do a lot of research online. Make sure that you are looking online and you're asking around, you're contacting university people, and yeah, just make sure that you're doing things properly and taking advantage of what's available to you. So I will go on that note, and I will hope you have a great day, and I will speak to you guys soon. Thank you. Bye bye.